Today I'm going to review the backstroke progression. It starts with the back float, moves to the kick, then we go over beginner arms, and finally backstroke arms. The keys to a proper back float are head back, hips up, and stay relaxed. You want to be relatively flat in the water. If your students are rigid and tense when they float, they'll have a hard time adding kick and arms later. You shouldn't be looking at your toes on the back float. This eventually puts you into a sitting position. And if you sit, you sink. Here are the do's and don'ts for backstroke kick. A proper kick starts at the hip with a long, relaxed leg, slight bend at the knee, and pointed toes. Improper kicking technique ruins a good back float position. Here I'm demonstrating the proper technique. I'm kicking from the hip, my knees bend some, but I'm not overdoing it. The upward motion of the kick with a pointed toe propels me through the water. In contrast, a heels down bicycling motion will actually pull you in the wrong direction. If your legs are too stiff or your toes aren't pointed, your kick will be ineffective. If you glue your knees together and just kick from the knee down, you'll tire out quickly. Try this kicking drill to learn the proper back arch. There are a lot of different ways to practice backstroke kick, but a flat, head back, hips up position is the key to all of them. Used improperly, barbells and kickboards will only reinforce bad technique. Now let's add the arms. Many beginners start with a straight one arm at a time approach. This is fine to build confidence and a feel for the water, but it is not the end goal. Eventually, while one arm is pulling, the other arm should be recovering. One arm up, one arm down, and switch, switch. I'm entering the hand pinky first to start the pull. However, straight arm pull won't generate much power. We used to say, pick the apple and put it in the basket at your hip. A good shoulder roll, catch, and arm bend will allow you to whip the water past your hip. Let's watch both arms working together. Scrape that arm right by your ear. Roll the shoulders and keep your head still. With beginners, I'll often work their arm through the motion. I'll tell them to feel the water against the palm of their hand. Don't lead with that elbow. Catch the water with your hand and whip it past your hip. To understand the difference, try pulling on the lane marker with a perfectly straight arm. It's awkward. Now try it with a bent arm. One arm's backstroke is a good way to practice good shoulder roll and proper pulling technique. Finally, we put it all together. Good shoulder roll, pinky first entry, swim tall. Don't lock your knees or elbows. Don't look at your toes and keep your head still.